Taylor Swift The Eras Tour is about to hit theaters, a near 3-hour concert film representing the record-breaking Eras Tour. And that got me thinking, why hasn't there been a Kiss concert film? A band known for their incredible live shows and visual appeal. Seems like a no-brainer. Well, as it turns out, there were plans for a Kiss concert film in the early 80s. This is a really fun bit of Kiss lore, as I had never heard about it until recently when I read Mask Hysteria by Julian Gill, which I recommend reading. Kiss entered the 80s in a state of change and disarray. The band had originally formed in 1973 and broke big with their 1975 live album, Alive. They continued their success with a string of platinum albums and hits such as Beth, as well as a lucrative and ever-growing merchandise machine. 1978 is when the cracks start to show. Kiss's label at the time, Casablanca Records, had a desire for the individual Kiss members to do solo albums.
Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Peter Criss, Ace Frehley. The Kiss albums, one by each of the 4 Kiss stars on Casablanca Records and Tapes.
President and founder of the label, Neil Bogart, a notorious hype man, thought it would be a genius idea to release the 4 albums on the same day with matching covers. Given the platinum success Kiss had had with their last several albums, it was decided by Bogart to ship out 1 million copies of each album. So, 4 million records went out. By Paul Stanley's estimation, about half of those records did not sell and were returned, resulting in a huge financial loss for Casablanca. What made this more complicated was that the previous year, Bogart had sold a 50% interest in Casablanca to Polygram, a major entertainment company at the time. After the solo album debacle and other similar issues, Polygram started to take control with major cuts that included Bogart. He was officially bought out on February 8, 1980, and Polygram took full control of Casablanca. This initially turned out to be a good thing for Kiss. In 1979, Kiss had released Dynasty, which sold well and, more importantly, yielded the massive worldwide hit I Was Made for Lovin' You. With the label losing money, Polygram was keen to keep Kiss around. And luckily for Kiss, their contract with Bogart included a keyman clause, which basically meant that if Bogart was gone, Kiss manager Bill Aucoin could give Casablanca 60 days notice to terminate their contracts and sign with another label. Based on the success of I Was Made for Lovin' You, Kiss signed their new 6-album deal with the newly owned Casablanca on April 1st, 1980. It was very lucrative for the band and also included a deal for a single Peter Criss solo album. Why will become clear later if you don't already know. At the same time, Kiss was planning a European tour also based on the success of I Was Made for Lovin' You and Dynasty, their first tour there since 1976. The tour was scheduled to start on May 19th in Oslo, Norway, just in time for the release of their new album, Unmasked. Part of this tour was a planned concert film entitled Behind the Mask of Kiss, directed by John Goodhue, a commercial producer and music video director who had then recently directed the promotional videos for I Was Made for Lovin' You and Sure Knows Something. The story of the film involved 2 teenage girls, Ingrid and Claudia, trying to figure out the identities of the 4 members of Kiss, what they looked like without makeup. 35 to 45 minutes of concert footage would be included, with the plan being to shoot the May 30th show in Rotterdam, Holland, as the story took place in Holland, and the May 31st show in Brussels, Belgium. The film ended with the girls seeing the band without the makeup, but shot from the back to not show the audience, before cutting to the I Was Made for Lovin' You promo video. The script treatment was written by Richard DiLello and Goodhue. Jack Churchill was set as director of photography, and Susan Jones as editor. In the proposal sent to the band, the structure is described as thus. The live concert segment with Kiss performing will make up from 35 to 45 minutes of total running time, divided into 3 separate 12 to 15 minute segments. The balance of the film, 45 to 55 minutes, will be a combination of dialogue story scenes. Various stories are told entirely through visuals keyed and underscored by separate Kiss songs from their new album to be released in late spring 1980. The planned release was that it would be a television film in the US and then released theatrically everywhere else. This was the release structure of the 1978 movie Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, which is referred in the proposal, particularly the money it made in European territories, $900,000 in 2 months is the figure referenced. So why didn't it happen? Well, the European tour was cancelled and rescheduled for the fall, which obviously made the plan impossible, though Gill suggests budgetary concerns also could have played a part. Why was the tour cancelled? Well, time to return to that pin we put in Peter Criss, as well as address other issues. The band was quite literally falling apart at this point. Tensions with Criss had escalated after the solo albums. On Dynasty, Criss only played drums on one track, Dirty Livin'. The rest was played by an uncredited Anton Fig. Towards the end of the Dynasty tour in the US, Paul Stanley signaled to Criss to slow down the tempo as Stanley felt he was playing erratically. Angry at this, Criss proceeded to purposely slow down and speed up at random to throw the band off. Already frustrated at the ever-growing personal tensions behind the scenes, Criss sabotaging a concert was the final straw, and the rest of the band decided to fire him. He did not plan on Masked at all, again replaced by Fig. So in the middle of planning a European tour, planning to film a movie during said tour, and recording a new album, Kiss lost their record label president and their drummer. The official reason given for the tour cancellation was that Kiss needed more time to finish their new album, which was probably part of the problem. But all three problems, the label, the album, and Criss, likely contributed to the decision. The movie treatment refers to Criss, so it is likely Goodhue was unaware that Criss had been fired. Why the band did not choose to film the project during the fall tour is unknown to me. Budget is a likely answer. But Kiss signed their new deal in April, as I mentioned. They finished Unmasked, which was released on May 30th, 1980, and following that, they hired Eric Carr to be their new drummer, who made his live debut on July 25th, 1980, in New York. However, the movie idea did slightly live on. If any of the story elements seem familiar, it's because it is similar to the music video for Shandy. Shandy was the first single off Unmasked with a promo video directed by John Goodhue. This would be Chris's last appearance with the band until 1995. The story of the video is a reporter trying to see Kiss unmasked with an ending gag of them still in makeup. Once the Unmasked tour started in the fall of 1980, a September 30th show in Germany was filmed to be used for a German TV special, Judah, Kiss, and the Big Show, which aired on November 7th, 1980. Of course, several Kiss concerts have been filmed and released either as TV specials or on home video. But it is still strange to me that they never really went for it. I wish they had, as a Kiss show on the big screen would be really spectacular. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If Kiss had done a concert tour, what would have been the best tour to do it? Be sure to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.